another episode of Faith in Home Buying, and we are equipping people of faith for the home buying process. I have my buddies here, Leia and Audrey. Ladies, say hello.
Hello.
Hello. Thanks so much for having us.
Of course. And so we're coming again, and you know what? Thanksgiving's coming up, and so I'm dating this particular podcast, but Thanksgiving's coming up, and we were talking about before, what we're going to kind of what the topic of today is going to be. But I think it's simple as saying, what are we thankful for? And I think even in the mortgage industry, to the home buying industry, to even us as agents and loan officers, that there's plenty to be thankful for, even from our clients that are finally even getting keys in this tumultuous time. But I think I want to start that off with just, some things and maybe even some scripture and talking about being thankful. What do you think?
So I just want to say something really quickly.
Sure, go ahead.
You said the word tumultuous, and I don't know. I feel like, honestly, it's not that tumultuous. I think it starts with like your mindset, your faith, understanding, your clarity, having that focus, what's your goals, and just knowing that every little thing is gonna be all right. Right?
That's right.
So don't worry. And so when we feed into what the news is saying, and what reports have just come up or what trends are showing, and I don't know. I feel like I'm in this new space where it's like, I am greater than what the news tells me I am. Right.
Exactly. Yep.
And that's why our clients keep coming back to us, because we're able to help not only be informative and concise and give them the knowledge about what's going on in the real estate market, but we can give them something unique and different, which is tapping into their faith and their mindset.
100%. And again, so this is all for those that do think it, because again, some of our older ones, a lot of the things that we continue to bring to people are, hey, these are the reasons why we're going to be thankful. Because what does a normal person hear, right? They see everything that's on the news. They hear everything from what their parents, grandparents, sisters, uncles, and cousins are saying. They see what other people have gone through in the industry. And so really a vast majority of people, they're thinking that it's tumultuous. But guess what? We're about to give them some information today of understanding why being thankful in this market is really, really important. And first, what Aaliyah said, but we're going to go to the word of God and actually just back up what she says with the word, because it's true. Even though things may seem, because they want to paint fear, right? They want to paint fear. They want to paint, going out there and being fearful of things. So therefore you get stuck and you don't move. But everything that we've been saying, even Audrey, just from even the last one, these are reasons why you should continue to go forward. And these are reasons why we still have clients still getting keys, and we're celebrating it, and we're still showing it, and we're still being out there and saying, hey, there's still great opportunity, right? So let's talk about that. So Philippians 4:6, when it talks about, do not be anxious about anything, but in every situation, by prayer and petition, with thanksgiving, present your requests to God. That is Philippians 4:6. And I think that ties along with like even clients that I have right now. A lot of them, you're thinking like, well, what about next month? Or, will things be the same next month? Will things be the same now? Okay, well, what if? There's so many what ifs. But it's like, well, what if things go right? what if what you actually heard doesn't go the way that you think that it's going to go? What if you walk by faith and knowing that I'm going to be a homeowner, what if it actually turns out a little bit differently than you're anticipating because you're walking by faith? And what if the very thing that you think may be like the most horrible thing that could happen, losing a job or whatever it may be, is really not as bad as you think that it is? And maybe a catapult for you to see something and see life a little bit differently and see how God's going to come and turn the situation around. What if? How do you deal with what ifs and people being anxious in this market?
Yeah, I love this topic because it's kind of like everybody talks about when you go to church, or just one of the last week's pastors was focusing on, if I'm not dead, God's not done yet. So It's like taking that path, walking that direction whenever there's challenges. I mean, thinking about this market, it is a challenging market, but like Leah said, it's about mindset. in any challenge, when the overall aspect and majority of people are thinking, oh my gosh, this is crazy. How are we going to get through this? COVID, right? Market shift, high interest rates. There's so much opportunity. So in these types of shifts and changes, and keeping faith and just having a focus that God has a plan for you and is walking you through, that is when the most opportunity happens. It's when the most growth happens. It's when the most exciting things happen. So you just have to stay on the course. And we're seeing that. We're seeing so much opportunity and growth and amazing things happen in business and with our clients.
And
Absolutely, Leah.
I think a lot of people get hung up too, because they're like, you know, my house isn't selling. It's the holidays. We're not thinking about putting our home on the market, or we're just going to take a break. Fellas, like, I mean, the people that are out there right now, ladies that are out there right now, they are serious sellers, serious buyers. It's a phenomenal time right now to take advantage of this market. Anybody that is out looking at 6:30 at nighttime for a home, don't hesitate to put your home on the market, because if you're not going to do it right now between November and December, there's going to be a wave of people, of competition, of sellers that are going to be listing their market in always, every single year, it never fails, in the hottest time of the real estate market, which is February, March, April, and you're going to be with all that competition. So if you're thinking about selling your home, right now is an amazing time to sell your home, and you're going to get very serious buyers. And, you know, Tamika and I are here to help you with all of that.
100%. And I think it's beautiful to see, like, even with like Faith and Homebuying, you know, doing this podcast, and even a lot of the things that I've done, you know, with the church, and like, this is just like a testimony, right? Like, I had someone come, and I kind of helped her in a different state and kind of just blessed her, but she heard Faith and Homebuying. She went through the course, and this was in like the beginning of like 2021. She still was kind of unsure about things. It was an interesting market for buyers. Nonetheless, it was challenging, but her story, and I had to post this on my Instagram, but her story, she finally kind of got her keys to her place. She settled in Washington, and like, even in a market like that for a buyer, her faith, oh my goodness, like, her story is just phenomenal. Now, granted, I wasn't on the end of handing over the keys, but it was the catalyst of imparting hope. It was the catalyst of imparting faith, to believe that no matter what, if you walk by faith and not by sight, you will see the end result of the very thing, for instance, home ownership, on what you're looking for. And her story was just that. I mean, and truth be told, I mean, I was every story that I hear, I kind of get like shocked and kind of amazed. But hers was one of those where it's like, no way, did that happen? That happened too. You know, even in buying a home. I mean, at that certain time in the market, even going below what offer price is, asking for credit back at that a year ago, to ask that and to get that. She did, you know, after 13 offers, 13 failures too, because she didn't get, you know, it. So but the one house that was ready, waiting and sitting there waiting for her, that was the house that she needed. And it was amazing. This is the story, even for the down payment, they didn't have all the down payment, but husband, it came from out of the blue, like his 401, like kind of like cash back from a 401k account came. It was the exact amount that they needed. You know, stuff like that. Like, so when I continue to hear, you know, stories like that, and this is one of the reasons why I keep wanting to bring this to people, share your stories, share the reasons why you are thankful, because I'm telling you, the Bible says we overcome by the blood of the Lamb and the word of our testimonies. And that's just not just the believing in Christ, but that's just believing in the very things that can be accomplished through people when you partner with God, when He's able to utilize you as a vessel to show the world that, look, I'm going to show up and I'm going to show out, and I'm going to be God in doing it, and I will get all the glory and all the praise for it. And it's just those type of stories. And this is one of the reasons why I want to talk about, what are we thankful for? There's so many things to not be thankful for, but what can we be thankful for in this market? And I want to start it off on a high level, but on the second half, we'll talk more in depth. But honestly, I'm thankful for people in the industry like Audrey that can give me stuff to help my allergies.
Full service, baby, full service.
Honestly, because it's one of the reasons why it's been really hard for me to go on social media and such. And people don't know, like, having a stuffy nose or having like just not having all of your health. Like I'm thankful for health, because that is a hard thing to do when you're here in your front face in front of people, and that could really stop your flow of business, could stop your flow of getting on, just the internet and talking and just anything. So
Your
I'm really
energy,
thankful.
your energy gets
100%.
depleted.
100%. So I'm so thankful for health. Leah, what are you thankful for?
Love it.
What am I thankful for?
Yeah.
I mean, I told you guys before we started, like, I am so grateful that I reached out to you, Tamika, back in, I don't know, August, no, it had to be March, and just reaching out to you, just taking that leap of faith and reaching out to you and in Instagram and just, asking for your voice on my panel, and then you connecting me with Audrey. And you guys are very strong, ambitious professionals, and I need to be in those circles. That's important. You are who you surround yourself with. And I know that you, as strong women, when I'm depleted in that energy, just like Audrey did, physically for you, she was able to provide you with that information and that knowledge to help make sure that her friend was intact, good and ready, so you can be at your highest level of performance when you're dealing with your family and your friends and your clients.
Right. Excellent, Leah. And then Audrey, before we go into the break, what are you thankful for?
Other than Amazon that allows me to do amazing things. When somebody asks me that question, I always think of course, I'm so indebted and grateful to God, my family, my health. I have to really focus on the people that God puts in and out of our lives. The first thing that hit me, kind of a personal story, is when my son was in his accident. I had my little neighbors that were next door. She was going through cancer for the 4th time. Nobody was in my house cooking food, helping me clean, helping me get everything situated. And, these are people that I had gotten close with over the years. When I look back over my life, there's always these little angels that God has connected me with, that has helped me through the best and worst of times. I'm so grateful for those random people that just see when people need something. And it really empowers me to be that person, to where if I see somebody need something, I want to be that person. So I'm very grateful for those people that set the example in my life.
Awesome. No, and hey, so stay tuned, everyone, because in the next one, we're going to go a little bit more in depth of, personally, we talked about what we're thankful for, but in this market, we're going to talk about what we're thankful for. And hopefully it will spark you to know that, hey, any market is a good market. And in any market, especially if you're walking by faith, it really doesn't matter. Every market is a great market in order for home ownership and also home selling. So stay tuned. Faith in Home Buying, equipping people of faith for the home buying process. All right. Hey, y'all. So we are talking about being thankful in this particular market. Top of the half, we talked about kind of personal, but now we're going to go a little bit more in depth in just our industry. Some of the things that we've seen and that we are thankful for buyers, sellers, just maybe even on the lending side. But before we do that, I want each person to let them know, how can we get in contact with you, Leah?
Oh, definitely. You can call me at 916-879-4435, or you can friend me on Instagram at leah.momentum.
Excellent. And Audrey, what about you?
You can give us a call, 408-426-8755, or we're Mortgage Team online, whatever social media platform you're on.
Awesome. And y'all know Tamika Ellsworth. You can catch me on Instagram, 408-561-7922. I will pick up. And if I don't, leave me a message, because it really is my phone. Or you can catch me on TikTok, real-estate_T as well. So, all right, ladies. So we already talked about personally what we're thankful for, but now let's give an example of why we're thankful, specifically in this market, again, to hopefully rewrite the things that have been written for this whole year, on why things, are going a particular way. Just what's the opposite of what things have been said and what we're finding out. So Leah, with our buyers, talk about that.
Yeah, so the buyers are, they went on the fence for a little while because of the interest rates. Now they're starting to pick up, because they're understanding that 3%, that wasn't the normal way of interest rates. They're just getting more knowledgeable. They're understanding where the market's going. They're becoming more savvy. Yeah. So now we're in, the sixes, and people are like, okay, wait, it's not that bad. Actually, it's okay. And it looks like it may continue to rise. So right now, all we're going to do is what do they say? Date the rate. So it's kind of like, it's just people are becoming more knowledgeable. So the buyers are coming out. So I have a buyer right now. And it's a great time to buy too, people. I have a buyer right now. We just got a $25,000 price reduction on this house because unfortunately the listing agent on that end did not, educate their client correctly in terms of where the prices are at and where the prices are going. And had they done that, then they would have had 20 offers on that property. But instead, they overpriced it to what the prices were looking like, 4 months ago. And the way the rate was going, the rate of the homes were going and being sold. And so I was able to get that price reduction for my client. And, we're in escrow and everything's great. We didn't have to release anything, no contingencies on our inspections or appraisal, anything. Listen, and my client's very happy.
Exactly. No, and that's beautiful because not being able to have, and actually, you know what? It's true. In this market, I'm telling you, this is the secret buyers. Look, if you're the kind of person that's like you don't like to be pressured, one, you want to make sure you have your contingencies. Two, when people were talking about being non-contingent coming in, it kind of gave you like a heart palpitation. Three, like this is your time. Because seriously, like before, y'all know it, contingencies, what are those? But now those of you that are a lot more cautious and really want to have the time to read about things and to make the decisions, this is your window of opportunity. So just FYI, I'm telling you, like, yeah, you may have gotten a lower interest rate. However, the one thing that you would have to skip out on is all of your due diligence in finding out a home. Now, granted, we did the best that we could in those markets, but again, this is now, you can now look things over and kind of breathe a little bit in this particular market. So Audrey,
Absolutely.
Yep, go ahead.
I think though also that is where your faith comes in at. Are you going to choose fear or are you going to choose faith?
Right.
That's where your prayer comes in at. That's where you consult the Father. You talk to him and your signs will come up, because I feel for me, the Father speaks through signs. I can see symbols and signs and understand that, like, oh, that's the direction. And literally signs will come up and say this way, right? So like you'll learn, if you learn to stop and listen to Father, not to the news, not to everybody else, but listen to Father first, and then find ambassadors, kingdom ambassadors that are here on this planet, and talk with them and then consult with them, and then we can, make a plan. So that's it. I had to say that. Sorry.
No, 100%.
Yeah, I love that.
Amen.
Last time, I remember you chatted about smells too, Leah, and I swear since that last episode, I've been like, do I smell it? God wants me to have coffee. I like it. This is going on. No, it's amazing, what I'm seeing right now in this market. And just an example of a buyer, I'm very grateful for second opinions, right? I'm not pushy.
Yeah.
I think our service speaks for itself. I always reach out and just I view it as education. So the example that I have is a client that was already really tight knit with a lender. The realtor is an amazing, partner of mine. So they always have their clients give a second opinion with me. And it was with a big name bank that I won't mention, but the loan officer did a good job. Unfortunately, their appraisal came in low. So because we already had all the information, and we did a second opinion, and the clients really did like and trust me. And they were like, okay, let's go for it. Let's just move over. We did the appraisal and it came in at value, whereas the first lender that they were with, it didn't. So I'm super grateful that we have, that opportunity to help people and support people. And I have a lot of respect for people in my industry, so I never want to take away the business, but I love being there to support in case it's needed, because we're seeing that a lot now where it is a little bit tumultuous. When you have the appraisals and these opportunities, we're going to start seeing something in the upcoming months where it's not increasing, right? It's kind of, it's stabilizing. So you're going to see some appraisals may or may not push as high as people are offering, which is that natural correction. So yeah, it was a great opportunity for the clients. They had no money to come in with the difference. So we were able to swoop in there, make sure that they got the deal done. It was wonderful.
On top of that too, Audrey, there's amazing programs that are happening right now. Like so many amazing programs that are coming up through whatever state you're in. There's always all these different community kind of programs into. There's the federal programs that are coming into. There's a lot of programs right now for our buyers. So it's a good time.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, sorry. Good to mention. We have a lot of people asking about those too, whether it's federal, Cali Chafe, all these things, because the people that didn't have the opportunity before, now they're having that opportunity. We're seeing things get accepted that normally would not. So I love that.
Exactly. These are the times, and I want to talk about my my sellers. So, I have three of them, one kind of coming up and getting the home together. And, honestly, whoever's selling at this time is because they need to sell.
Yeah.
Let's just be real with it. They've probably been renting for X amount of time. Some probably missed a little bit of a boat, but still they need to sell. And the good thing about it is, agents out there that are keying up their sellers correctly. Like, I'm not giving you anything as far as comparables that were 3 months ago, not even more than 3 months ago. I'm not doing it 2 months ago, probably not even then. Why? Because I got to set you up for success. So when an offer does come in, I don't have to bang you over the head and be like, hey, take the offer. No, you've seen the data, you've seen how everything is going. So when that offer comes in, there's really no thinking about it, especially if all the things are lining up and it's actually over what the anticipated is. Take it, run with it, keep it going. Because it's going to make a big difference, especially those that need to close, in this particular year for tax purposes, tax reasons. There's a lot of different reasons why. So finding that out is, as long as you are set up correctly, for an agent and even as for your listings, it's not uncommon, to have something go 30 days, because honestly, that's kind of about right. That's actually how it should be in the market, 30 to 60 days or so. And to let them know, okay, look, this is what's going on in your area. This is the average time on market. So when you hit this market, and as we're continuing to give updates every single week, I give an update and then letting them know, okay, we're still under the average, still under the average. Okay, we've hit the average now a little bit over the average. Now let's look at our adjustments on what we need to do. Much more easier conversation than trying to set something up with a high expectation that's not realistic. Of course, you can still have people that says, well, I want to still try for that number. I'm like, okay, we can try for that number, but only give me a week, and we have to drop it down to where we need to, because I don't want it to sit for longer than it needs to. So now those discussions can be really, really upfront, frank, and really, really honest, because just as much as the buyer is kind of wanting to buy their home by faith, sometimes there's sellers too that want to sell their home by faith and to get the things that they need to so they can move forward and progress in life. So, I see great opportunities even for sellers, and even for sellers too that really, believe it or not, I have people that sell that it's like, Tamika, we're not really looking for the price. We know we're going to get a whole lot of money out of this, but we really want to sell to the right person. I've seen that time and time again. So believe it or not, just as much as the buyer is looking for faith for a home, there are sellers looking to sell to people that they can actually bless. And I've seen it in this market where they're willing to come down 100,000, off of a purchase price, offer a credit back as much as they could, a whole 3%. Like what? 6% if they could, to buyers. And so you have those that really have that gift of just one of generosity during this time. And I've seen it time and time again. And there's some of my sellers that are willing to do this stuff. So that's what I'm saying. Like, don't let anything stop you, because you don't know who's out there and who's willing to make arrangements to have things happen. So
Absolutely.
that being said, I hope that this segment has just been really, really hopeful and full of thanks and hopefulness on understanding what can be accomplished in this market. And it looks like we are rounding up our time, but thank you everyone for coming through. And honestly, I hope and I pray that the rest of this year is filled with one of thanks, and hopefully with family and friends, and one with great health. And if you need to contact us, remember, you can contact me at 408-561-7922. Leah, how can they contact you real quick?
916-879-4435, or hit me up on Instagram and let's be friends.
Audrey?
Leah.momentum. I know my tag name, but
and you can always find me, Hutton Mortgage Team, and you can reach us at 408-426-8755.
All right, ladies. All right, everyone. Thank you. And God bless.